5, numbers 10 and 11. So I've blocked off some of them just so I can give you some examples of what you should do for homework. Let's take number 10a, for example. I have 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of negative 3 gives you 2 to the power of a. Now, the equation that you might want to write to help you out is the relationship between the exponents. So remember, if you have the same bases, then you probably should add the exponents together. Find the sum. So to write that out, I would write it as 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of negative 3 equals to 2 to the power of 5 plus negative 3. Now if you add 5 and negative 3 together, you get 2 to the power of 2. So if 2 to the power of 2 equals to 2 to the power of a, then a equals to 2. That would be your final answer. So again, if you have 2 to the power of 5 and 2 to the power of negative 3, you can add them together and write 2 to the power of 5 plus negative 3, and that gives you 2 to the power of 2. And if you don't believe me, 5 plus negative 3 means 5 positives, 3 negatives, and those cancel out, and you're left out with what? With 2 positives. So that's why you got 2 positives. Alright. Now, alternatively, when we have a problem that's not multiplication, because this problem here was multiplication, when we have a division problem, what we're really doing is we're subtracting the exponents. So that means my equation is going to look a little bit different. It's going to be not adding in the middle, but it's going to be subtracting in the middle. So let's actually write this out again. So that's 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 to the power of negative 7, and that equals to 2 to the power of 5 minus negative 7. Now, remember that if you're minusing a negative, it is the same as adding a positive, because you're really multiplying the negative with the negative to make a positive number. So your answer is 2 to the power of, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. So your answer is 12. If 2 to the power of 12 equals to 2 to the power of d, then we can say d equals to 12. Now, if you arrived at these answers in a different way, don't worry about it. As long as your way makes sense and you end up with the correct answer, that is really all that matters. Some of you may have actually converted 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of negative 3 as a fraction. You may have written 2 to the 5th over 2 to the power of positive 3, because you moved the negative exponent to the denominator and made it positive. And then you did 2 to the power of 5 minus 3, which is 2. Or alternatively for d, you could have done 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of positive 7, because you took the denominator and you moved it up to the numerator. And that gives you 2 to the power of 12. Same answers, but different ways of doing them. Alright? Now, number 11 asks you to decide if this expression equals to 5 to the power of 3. So we're going to do something very similar to some of the questions that we've done in the past, which was, is this similar to something to the power of something else? So let's take the first one, for example, 1 over 5 to the power of negative 3. When you have a power of a fraction, then it is the fraction of the powers. So basically, I take the negative 3 and I would distribute it to both of the exponents for 1 and 5. So I would have 1 to the power of negative 3 over 5 to the power of negative 3. Then what do? Well, I have negative exponent here, so they have to move places to become positive. So that gives me 5 to the power of 3 over 1 to the power of 3. which is just 5 to the power of 3. So does this equal to 5 to the power of 3? Yes, it does. So that's a big check mark toward yes. Let's take a look at D. For D, if we used our subtraction rule, it would be base 5, and my powers would be the numerator minus the denominator. 6 minus 9. So that's 5 to the power of negative 3. Does this equal to 5 to the power of positive 3? No, it does not, because that gives you a negative number. Well, gives you a negative number as opposed to a positive number. And what we're looking for is, we're looking for a positive 3 here. Alright, 2 more to go. 5 to the power of 5 times 5 to the power of negative 2. What would you write out? And you can say it out loud to yourself. What would you write out as 5 to the power of something? What's that something? You should have said 5 plus negative 2. Okay, why are we adding? We are adding because this is multiplication. So when I add 5 and negative 2 together, I get 5 to the power of positive 3. And this does, again, equal to 5 to the third. And last one, 5 to the power of 2 to the power of 1. So our last rule that we got to remember is if you have a power of powers, it's multiplying them. Multiply the powers. So then, I really get 1 times 2. That gives me 5 to the power of 2 times 1, which equals to 5 squared, which does not equal to 5 cubed. So this one is a no. I hope this was helpful and useful. I hope someone actually watches it. If you do watch it, can you please comment on it? It would make life easier, so I actually know how many people are watching these things, right? It helps. All right, until tomorrow.